Hi, so this is another area problem. It's quite a classic one. Trapeziums tend to come up quite a lot in GCSE because students tend to forget what the formula is for this. So it's a way of testing your mathematical knowledge and understanding whether or not you know how to find the area of a trapezium. So let's read through it first of all. So it says here's a trapezium and it gives you the diagram, and obviously there are lengths missing and they've given you some x values there. It tells you all the measurements are in centimetres, which is really important. You must make sure that you quote your answer back in centimetres at the end. Then it's telling you that the area of the trapezium is 18 centimetres squared, and it asks you then to calculate the perimeter of the trapezium. So it's quite clear what we've got to do. They've given you information about the area, so the first clue then is that you've got to find the area of this shape, all right? So you need to know your formula for the area of a trapezium. So here it is. So the area formula is a half a plus b times by h. Now a and b are the parallel sides on the trapezium, and h, and this is important, is the perpendicular distance between them. Now perpendicular means that it's not at a slant, it has to be the distance between the two parallel sides, which is at right angles to both of them. So on this shape here, h is actually 4, and the two parallel sides are these two here, which should be clear from the diagram. Okay, so it's the 2x minus 3 and the 2x plus 3. So there's nothing else for it but to put the algebra in. Now it can seem quite scary, but if you just take those steps, just one step at a time, then you will find that actually quite often it becomes very, very simple, and you'll see that here in action in a moment. So let's start filling in what we know. So it's a half a plus b, so that's our parallel sides. So that is 2x minus 3 plus 2x plus 3. And then we multiply that by the perpendicular distance that I mentioned earlier, which is 4. Now we're told that the area of the trapezium, really importantly here, is 18. Alright? So the first thing I would do is simplify this bracket down. Now, look at it, it's very straightforward. 2x minus 3 plus 2x plus 3. So if you think about simplifying that, first of all collect together your like terms. So 2x and 2x is 4x, so we have our half outside, and in the bracket we're going to have 4x. Now what happens with the numbers? Minus 3 plus 3, that's 0, so that's it. So all we have is a half times by 4x times by 4, and that gives us 18. Now there are a number of ways that you can simplify that, okay? It's entirely up to you how you do it. I would probably do a half times 4x, which is 2x, and then times the result by 4, which is 8x overall, okay? Or you could do 4x times 4, which is 16x, and then times that by half, which would still give you 8x. So any which way you want to do it, you're still going to get 8x, and we know that that is equal to 18. So the next thing you have to do then is find out what x is. So 8x is equal to 18. We just divide by 8. Now if this was on a non-calculator paper, I would do something like this and then simplify my answer. So 18 and 8 have got a common factor of 2. So if I divide both by 2, I get 9 over 4. So that means that x is 9 over 4 centimetres. Now you can convert that to a mixed number, which would be 2 1/4 or 2.25, but actually I prefer leaving it as a fraction, and quite often that's useful later on in the question. So that is our answer for x. Now keep in mind what you've been asked to find. So you've been asked to calculate the perimeter of the trapezium. So the next thing that I would do is actually find out in algebra what the perimeter of the trapezium is. But you could equally substitute that in and get those values first. It's entirely up to you. But actually I think it's going to be easier to find the perimeter in algebraic terms first and then do the substitution. So the perimeter, I'm just going to call it P, add it all up, we have 5, we start from here, don't forget the perimeter is just the distance around the outside of the shape. Then we've got plus 2x minus 3 plus 5 plus 2x plus 3. Okay, so I've gone all the way around the shape, adding up all of the lengths as I go. The perimeter then, now if we simplify, we've already done 2x minus 3 plus 2x plus 3 because we had to do that in here, and we found that that was 4x. So we have 4x, and then all we've got to do is add up the 5 and the 5, and that adds up to 10. Okay, so now we can do our substitution. We know that x is equal to 9 over 4, or 2 1/4. So now I substitute that in. So my perimeter is 4 lots of 9 over 4 plus 10. Now I said to you it was easier to leave it as a fraction. 4 lots of 9 over 4 is just quite simply 9, because if I do 9 divided by 4 and then times by 4, I'll just get back to 9, plus 10. So my answer is 19. And don't forget what I told you at the beginning about your units. Make sure you quote back the units at the end. And so the answer is 19 centimetres.